Hello and welcome back to some more Rune Factory 5, where we're going to take a little bit of time to beat up this dragon. Hi Cinnamon, what are you doing? We're beating up this dragon in order to get a special type of scale from it. If we don't get that scale, we're going to reload and keep trying.
And don't be late.
Yeah, I'm not late. This isn't like a couple of days ago where the video wound up uploading almost an hour late. I think it's kind of impressive that in like, what, over a year of uploads, a year and a half of uploads, I was only late with episodes like twice. Oh, and right. So speaking of uploads, Dark Cloud has finally been defeated, but not only that, I spent about a solid 2 hours off camera trying to get everything prepared for the grand finale. And for a grand finale, it's probably not going to be all that exciting. And it's also not going to be just one episode.
Nice.
Wait. Dragon Golem Ashes and a Dragon Golem Scale. Yeah, that's what we needed, right? So now, all we need now is an ancient fish fin. Hi. Hi, Cinnamon. Hi. Hi. So, I'm sure I'll get more into detail of why I spent 2 hours, or, what I spent 2 hours doing to set up the finale, which I should go and record today, but, once I'm done with this episode of Rune Factory, I'll just go and... Hello?
There! Hope I get a bite.
Hi, Cinnamon, what's up?
Easy does it.
Okay, the fish is coming closer.
Now!
Actually, there's no safe spots out here, so let's go back home, save really quick here. Everything will be fine. I have a cat sitting down on my arm. We watched some GDQ stuff earlier today together, and the person recording had a cat. Actually, it wasn't GDQ stuff, it was some Stardew Valley content. And the person streaming had a cat. So now Simon, yeah. Simon's here like, I'm ready for the cat cam. Just kind of balanced on my arm.
Yeah.
Like that's a normal cat thing to do. Which it probably is, I don't know.
You're mine! Yeah! Oh! Okay, so let's catch a big one. Now!
And that's the smallest pike we've ever got.
Easy does it. I'm a little tired. You're mine! There!
Alrighty.
Hope I get a bite.
Alright. So, what is it? Yeah. after, what, 30 some hours of playing through and some grinding and whatever just to unlock the final dungeon, I'm going to have to spend... Okay. I'm going to try to do the math now. Trying to figure out, because...
Okay, let's catch a big one.
The last dungeon of the game took about 2 hours to get through. Oh, more like an hour and a half to get through 24 floors. However, for most of those floors, I had to run around the entire floor to collect the Atlamelia, which I won't need for the demon shaft. It's just get the key and leave.
Now!
And if I'm just going to get the key and leave, the floors where I only had to do that
Hope I get a bite.
went a lot faster. So how many floors do I think I could clear in an hour? 10 floors in an hour? I mean, to be fair, 24 floors was about an hour and a half. So what's the 24? 8, 16, 24. So I could theoretically do 16 floors an hour. I could probably do 20 floors an hour
I'm a little
pretty
tired.
reliably.
There!
Which means that
Okay,
the demon shaft
let's
should
catch a
take
big
about 5 hours to get through. If you think of it like that, 5 hours to get through the entire demon shaft. Actually, maybe I should do a little bit more prep work, because I don't exactly need food items. I can just use resurrection powder, and I don't need food,
Okay,
because I do have a
Let's
healing
catch a big one.
item. And then just keeps putting the resurrection powder onto my main bar. But yeah, my guess is that it's going to take about 5 hours, like 5 videos
So spicy. Now!
to make it to the end of the demon shaft. Now, the problem
There!
here,
Okay,
the problem with
catch
that
a big
comes
one.
in
you're mine!
when I point out that after,
There!
3 episodes worth of time,
Okay, let's catch a
because
big
the 3rd episode of the Demon Shaft will be coming out on the 15th, and also on the 15th, the new Ruby game is coming out. So, I won't necessarily be able to upload an episode of Ruby exactly on the 17th, but I would be able to, you know, let's see, 17th, 19th, 21st?
There!
If I'm doing it on a daily thing, it would come out on the
Get a bite.
21st. If I'm not, it would be the 19th. Or I could just set it to upload on the 19th. Either way. Yeah, set it up so the first episode comes out at noon on the 19th, and then decide if I want to do it as a semi-daily or a weekly video. All things considered. Because I could always just run straight from Dark Cloud minimum dungeons to Dark Cloud 2 minimum dungeons.
Easy does it?
And then the main problem is I don't know what to do from there. Also, Stacklands has gotten an update. I checked it out yesterday and found out that they're like... Oh no, not yesterday. I checked it out like on Friday. Realized, hey, there's like a bunch of new achievements in here. So, last night I managed to convince Zara
So spicy.
that we should go and play some more
Get a bite.
Stacklands, and like always, we have fun playing the game. So much so to the point that I wanted to just keep playing on my own after she had to go to bed. But no, I didn't do any playing without her. Well, strictly speaking,
Now!
I didn't do any playing of Stacklands without her. After she went to bed is when I set up the Dark Cloud game, because
Hope I get a bite.
gosh, I realized the final dungeon of the game
I'm a little tired.
has a very centralized hub to it. So instead of getting like regular shops and storage people, like you do in all of the other towns, you just have the Fairy King, and you can buy a lot of stuff strictly from him. Get, you know,
Easy does it?
whatever weapon attachments you want. That's the important thing. You can buy gemstones. You can buy diamonds and emeralds and whatnot right from him. Like, directly from him. And that's an important thing to point out.
You're mine!
Because otherwise, the only way is to get gemstones are either back floors of dungeons,
Easy
which
does
I
it.
can't do right now because I can't go into a dungeon to be grinding, or by doing fishing, which takes for bloody ever to get some modern galleons. Like, yeah, you saw that episode that took 4
So
hours to catch, like, what, 9
Easy does
fish?
it.
Yeah, it takes 4 flippin' ever to get a couple of fish.
Yeah.
So if I want to just buy a bunch of gemstones,
Let's
fishing
catch
is
a
the
big
only
one.
way that I can really do it, but it also takes forever.
Now.
And I wasn't really up for doing that.
Easy does it. Now. I'm a little tired. Yeah.
So then
Get a bite.
yeah. So like, oh, well, why don't you just go into like the main hub of the last dungeon? And can't do that. Spoiler alert for Dark Cloud, you can't go into the hub of the final dungeon and talk to the Fairy King and buy stuff from the Fairy King unless you've been in the final dungeon. And, as it turns out, you're not forced to leave the final dungeon.
Yeah.
Even if you go all the way through and beat the game,
Let's catch a big
you don't actually get a save for once you've beaten the game. It just like applies a template to
Would you like your fortune?
yeah, it just applies a template to your all of your save files that whenever you reach the area of the final dungeon,
Now.
you can go into the post-game dungeon. And that's all. Fortunately, you can get to the area of the final dungeon without having to go into the dungeon
Okay.
and get to the demon shaft without ever going into the actual, like, into the game's final dungeon. However, that means that for a minimum dungeon challenge, you cannot buy anything from the Fairy King. Period. You just can't. It's not allowed. Can't do it.
Sir. Hope I get a bite.
So, I had to rely on regular old weapon crystals instead of gemstones to be able to build up a couple of weapons. And some of the attachments you just can't buy from stores. Fortunately, I was able to get just enough because I still had like 1 diamond. Actually, I think even without that 1 diamond, I would have barely had enough. Because you can't buy Metal Breaker from a store
Okay. Let's catch
until
a
you
big
get to the Fairy King. And I needed like 10 extra Metal Breaker points, so I needed like 4 Metal Breaker attachments.
Would you like your fortune told?
And somehow I had exactly 4. But I also just save scummed to a point where I got a ×2 attachment spot, put the diamond on there. This diamond gives plus 10 metal, so instead of just using 1 diamond regularly, I used a diamond on a ×2 spot, and I was able to get all the metal I needed to be able to upgrade the weapon successfully.
Okay. Let's catch a big one.
So now I'm just kind of... yeah, so 2 weapons still need a fair bit more experience, but I have all of the crystals and attachments that they
little tired.
both need in order to be built up. 2 weapons with, I think it's minimum 99 attack.
You're mine.
Minimum 99 maximum attack. So when I put the angel gear on, they'll be fine.
Yeah. Easy does it.
And after all of that, I still didn't even have to use up the sun crystal. I totally could have used that for one of the weapons, and for one of them that would have been really nice, because it needed like 30 in like all of its elements.
Now. Skill up.
So yeah, after I finish this episode, and it looks like I'm gonna have to redo all this fishing here. But once I'm done with this, I'll go and start recording a whole bunch of Dark Cloud and see if I can do it in, oh wow, no, 4 episodes? 25 floors per hour. Yeah, just do that all day, and then go hang out with us and play Stacklands for a couple of hours. Do a ton of recording today.
Now!
I think by the time I'm done with this, yeah, I could probably do about, 5 episodes of Dark Cloud. And then probably a good 4 or so hours worth of Stacklands, if there's enough content for all of that.
Big one. You're mine.
And with all of that in mind, so yeah, just go and record, oh, I don't know, 10 episodes in a day? That seems about right. There's no problem there, right?
You're mine.
Yeah, there's some new content in Stacklands, and it's looking pretty darn exciting.
Now.
Gosh, I just want to play Stacklands casually, but it doesn't have, like, multiple save files. It has, like, one save file, so you can, leave and then continue later.
Okay, let's catch a big one.
But I just want to play, like, casually on my own and just, like, have some fun with it. I remember back when I had found that one, money exploit.
So spicy.
And that was a lot of fun. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Level 10 pike. Oh, hey. Not ship skipjack. Yeah, let's undo the last
There's nothing I can't steal.
6 hours. So yeah, that's what I have in this. And if yesterday I didn't, yeah. Other than the episode of, yeah, I recorded one episode yesterday, whatever. Recorded some Stacklands, and then also recorded, not recorded, I went shopping and I set up Dark Cloud. But, yeah, as I pointed out that I was at the point where I was like, oh, I have to record every single day. Was like, oh, well, have to record this thing, have to record that thing, have to record this, have to record that. And it's like, because I wasn't at all ahead on the Dark Cloud videos, because I was just in a headspace where I didn't want to record record a bunch of games, specifically Rune Factory and Dark Cloud. So I just kind of only recorded the minimum. So every day I'd get up, it's like, oh, today I have to do Rune Factory, today I have to do Dark Cloud. But now, if I'm going to do a whole bunch of Dark Cloud episodes at once, like I did a couple of days ago, I recorded it, all of the final dungeon. All at once, so, got that much going for me.
Easy,
It's
does
like,
it?
okay, so, like, I don't have to record every day. I can just wake up and basically just spend a day, I don't know, playing Commander or something. Although, yesterday I played a couple of Commander games. I don't know how, but I got randomized into starting last 4 flipping games in a row.
Now.
It's supposed to be random, and somehow I started last 4 games in a row. It's like, yeah, I understand, blah, blah. If you play 4 games, you'll probably be last 1 of those 4, because, there's 4 players. And the starting turn order is supposed to be just completely random. No, I was last on all 4 of them.
Now.
What's that? 4, 16, 64, 1 in 256? Is that it? Because the odds of being 4th, starting 4th on the first game are 1 in 4.
Now.
Starting 4th on, like, 2 specific games would be, 1 in 4 times 1 in 4, or 1 in 16. And times 4 again. Yeah, that would be 64.
Hope I get a bite.
For 3 in a row, and then... Yep. 256. 1 in 256 odds, right?
I'm a little tired. Now!
1 in 256 odds to play 4 games where I happen to have started last every single game.
Yeah. Easy does it.
But, oh yeah, my, yeah, I still want to call it my hope deck. My artifacts deck, my liberator deck, has definitely gotten a big power boost lately from all these new cards, but since the liberator card came out, I've been using it. There've been, like, a couple of, like, extra card slots in my deck that I've been, like, waffling around with.
Would you like your fortune told?
I've always used cards that are kind of not traditional in the deck. Like, Mind's Eye put back in because just... Whoops. The ability to just pay 1 mana to draw a card at instant speed during other people's turns is nice. I can just, you know, put out Mind's Eye during my turn.
Okay.
And if I have, say, a mana rock or a land that taps for 2+ mana, I don't have to, like, well, I'll tap this for 2, use 1 to draw a card, use the other one for nothing, I guess. It's like, no, I can always just, like, yeah, use this for 2, use 1 to draw a card, and then use the other one, maybe with some more mana, whatever, to then go and, like, cast something. Because I can just keep, you know, flashing stuff out just like that.
Hope I get a bite.
Still a little bit sleepy, I guess.
I'm a little tired.
Yeah, I hear ya.
Easy does it.
I'm sure everything is gonna be fine eventually, right? Yeah, just
Would you like your fortune
yeah,
told?
just throwing out a couple little cards here and there, just getting the play balance just a little bit better. Oh gosh. Yeah, that's just whatever. But then I wanted to just play like a nice casual fun game of like Plane Chase or Arch Enemy, which is
Catch a big one.
not really so viable to do in CEDH. So you know, so I went to a more casual line service like, hey, I want to do Plane Chase or Arch Enemy. Got some people interested to do some Plane Chase. We started
You're
up,
mine.
and this guy, the first one to like join in and be excited, and state that he wanted to definitively play Plane Chase. Yeah, we get into the game and he's like, well, since we're doing Plane Chase, I'm gonna play a low power deck. Edgar Markar Vampire Tribal.
Now.
And he was trying to convince everyone that his Edgar Markar Vampire Tribal was apparently weaker than the pre-con Edgar Markar Vampire Tribal deck. It's like, yep, because Edgar Markov is a commander that, as long as it is your commander, you don't even have to play it. As long as it is your commander, as long as you set it to be your commander, whenever you cast another vampire spell, you just make a free 1/1 token. So you can pay 1 mana for a 1/1 vampire, and then also get a second vampire.
You're mine.
You cast a vampire, you make an extra vampire. With every vampire you play for the entire
Would you like
game.
your fortune told?
Except for, of course, Edgar Markov itself, but still. Even if you never play Edgar Markov, that's just
Let's catch a big
extra
one.
vampire every single turn. You know, every single cast, not just even once per turn. Every cast that you get, boop, free vampire. Free vampire, free vampire. And then he's all like, here, I'll show you my opening hand to show you that I definitively depowered this deck.
You're
See?
mine.
And it was like 2 lands, a signet, 3 vampires, and something else. Like, Sure, maybe on turn 1 he can play a vampire. Turn 2 he gets out of signet. For like turn 3 and the rest of the game though, vampire, 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 vampire. And it's like, okay, well maybe that's like mid-power stuff, but no, he was very adamant and loud that that was a low-power deck. Low power, like, again, like below precon level deck. Very low power deck. And he was very adamant and loud about his sentiment
I'm a little tired.
that it was definitively
Easy does it? Here
and
goes.
incredibly and astoundingly low power. And specifically low power. And that was it.
Okay, let's catch a big one. There. Okay, let's catch a big one. Oh, so spicy.
So, yeah, whatever. I blocked the person, left that game, because it's so... It's like, if he wants to...
Easy does it?
Either he's daft and doesn't know what low power actually means, which could definitely be a thing because many Commander players don't know what power level is, and every deck is mid-power, and it doesn't matter if you do turn 2 infinite combo win the game, or turn 12, hey, maybe I'll kill you with this 2-2 I played. Every deck is a 7.
Let's catch a big one.
Every deck is mid-power. Every deck is a 7. Doesn't matter what it's doing. That precon is a 7. Every deck is a 7 to EDH players. Or, when what seemed a lot more likely, based on his tone of voice and how insistent he was on it, he was just being a troll and wanted to power stomp us and say, see, it's a low power deck. Vampire, 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 swing for 20, ha 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 ha. You lost, you lost, you lost. Like, you know, he's at a tournament and wants to get pricing for this, and he's going... And, like, if his method of fun is, hey, I'm gonna kill all of you, but I also want you to play weak decks so I actually can kill all of you. Like, I'm not gonna do that. Unless he's, like, actually 4 years old or something. I'm not going to play, like... Yeah, unless he's either, like, you know, a child, like a 4-year-old, or he's, like, brand new to the game. I'm not going to play, like, a weaker deck against someone, giving them a much higher chance of winning the game just so they can be entertained by it. But like I said, I would do that for, like, you know, a child, so they can be all like, hey, I beat, you know, I beat Big Sis Claire, I beat Claire. Here, we played Magic together and I won my first game. This is exciting. I want to play more. Sort of thing, in which case, you know, it's the long game. Or, you know, play against someone, yeah, like when I've been introducing friends to all those obscure card games and stuff. If possible, I give them, like, you know, the deck that's better, just so they have a better chance of winning. Oh gosh. Remember once playing a couple of Kirian stacks against each other. They didn't quite fare so well. I don't know, I like playing my decks against each other because they seem oddly incredibly balanced for each other, which is weird. I think I've talked about that before. Wow.
You're mine.
Okay, at some point today I should probably check the mail because I still have like one more package of cards coming in that I'm guessing will be here this week.
Catch a big one.
There's tracking on it, but the tracking is all like, yep, we packaged up ready for shipping on like October 14th or whatever. It's like, yep, this was packaged for shipping a month ago.
So
You know, almost a month ago by now. And it's like, cool, any other updates? Where's it now? It's like, it was packaged for shipping. So either A, it's still sitting there in the original warehouse, packaged up and ready for shipping, or B, the tracking just hasn't been updated. And considering that the tracking never gets updated for any packages that I order from that website, even packages I've, you know, obtained and gotten still say that they are like, yep, packaged up, ready for shipping. I'm going to guess that the tracking is just not being updated. Simon, that's you, right? So I'm willing to believe that it's just a case of that. So I'm willing to believe that it's just a case of packages. Yeah, packages is hopefully just gonna show up this week. Hi, Cinnamon. And that's all I really have to wait for. I mean, it's not like it's necessarily cards that I need for decks. Haven't placed order for Brothers War stuff yet to start putting in my decks. Gosh, a lot of my commander decks have not had, like, any updates to them for, like, ever. And it is kind of unfortunate. Because it would be nice to, you know, update the deck so I can get excited about playing them again. Because EDH is not actually a non-rotating format, unfortunately, because of all these new cards that keep coming out. And it's like, oh, well, if you want to play, like, with the best, you gotta, you know, start. You gotta keep getting better and better cards. Like, oh, you have a token deck that has green in it? Better shell out for a great henge. You have a red deck? Put in a Darkside Extortionist. Cinnamon, no. Psst. Off the wall, Cinnamon. Yeah, let's go down to the beach.
Okay, let's catch a big one.
There's no fish here. There's so much space on this beach. It feels like there should be something here. Even like a gazebo or like a bench or something, right? I'm not seeing any fish. Alright, back to here we go.
Get a bite.
But, oh my gosh, cost of groceries is just so expensive these days, isn't it? I was looking around, I found like this little, it's like, yeah, like little 6-pack of muffins. Kind of small muffins, but they're alright. And it's like, oh yeah, one of these little, like, bite-sized, yeah, I found a little tray of like a dozen muffins. And it's like, oh yeah, one of these individual little tiny like bite-sized muffins is like 200 calories. And it's like, they're not cupcakes. They're just muffins.
Does it?
One of these little tiny things, like 200 calories. And it's like, I could get like a chocolate bar. Well, not really a chocolate bar. I could get a granola bar with chocolate chips. And it's so, that's like more mass than one of those muffins. For like 100 calories. In fact, I did, because they were on sale. So I bought like a whole bunch of little granola bars. But also the muffins themselves, a little tray of like 12 little bite-sized muffins. It's probably about $7 or $8, right? Or $6.50, whatever. It's more than 50 cents for one of these little bite-sized muffins. I was like, yeah, sure. It's probably a decent price per calorie. If you want to get a lot of calories as fast as possible, that's definitely an option. In which case, just go for the cupcakes, as those are actually the same amount of calories at the same price, at the same size.
Great!
Okay, apparently I somehow caught 2 salmons at once. That would be quite the feat, really.
Sir!
I just need the fish fin.
Okay, let's catch a big one.
It's only about 1 in 200 odds, right?
Now!
Alright. Honestly, when I saw the wardrobe at the start of this game, I really thought that collecting new outfits would just, you know,
Yeah!
more so be a thing that happens,
Get a
but
bite.
apparently not.
Now! Yeah! Okay, let's catch a big one. You're mine!
Alright, there's a lot of salmon coming.
Yeah! Hope I get a bite. Oh, so spicy.
Yeah, everything is expensive these days. Whatever.
Now!
Don't mind me just having some... Just drinking my yogurt. I like yogurt. Yogurt is nice.
Yeah!
Gosh. Yeah, like this little sidekick,
Catch a big one.
like, you know, side meal, whatever, pouches, things. Those used to go on sale for like under $1 each. And I used to get them and, you know, make them as meals.
Now!
And then I changed and started using like 2 of them as a pack to make 1 meal, but that's a
Nice.
different story. But one of those things, even without the added butter and milk to them, it's like, what, 400, 500 calories
Hope I get a bite.
for like 1 little packet? So having a meal of 2 of them
Now!
was like a good over 1,000 calories, which is insane considering I'm trying, not successful, trying to eat less than 2,000 calories a day. And I shouldn't like turn this into like a calorie blog. I've had blah 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 amount, here amount, whatever. But when 1 little bowl of food is half my daily calories,
So spicy.
it's kind of insane.
Now!
And like, yeah, 2,000 calories is quite a lot of calories. And I can make it go further by eating, you know, less calorie intense foods. Like chicken over pork. Gosh, before I started counting calories, seriously, I would just take a hunk of pork, chop it all up, whatever, into like, you know, pork chop sized amounts. Fill up, you know, a layer. Flatten them out in a layer on my air fryer, whatever. Fry them all up. Eat them. And that'll just be not even like a proper meal, like just a, oh, I'm kind of hungry, I'm just gonna have some pork real quick
Okay, let's
type
catch
of a thing.
big one. Yeah!
And it turns out that, like, you know, a big plate's worth of pork chops, no breading or anything on them, salt and pepper, maybe some other spices that, you know, don't add to the calories, because breading adds a ton of calories. That was like, you know, about 2,000 calories worth of pork. I would just have that almost,
Okay,
yeah,
let's
just have
catch a
that
big
as like
one.
a meal. And it's like, oh, yeah, I shouldn't be doing that. As it turns out, that's not a good thing.
Now!
Whatever. Getting a lot of chicken. Whenever chicken goes on sale, make sure to get some. Chicken, getting yogurts instead of ice creams, because I used to get like a carton of ice cream every other month.
You're mine!
Just, you know, sometimes I wanted something sweet and cold, especially something cold.
Would you like your fortune told?
Sometimes I just wake up with a really sore throat. That's not a COVID thing. I've been doing it since I moved in here. Possibly even before I moved in here, I don't recall. But especially in the early days of living here, I actually wound up buying a thing of, I want to say popsicle freezies? Yeah, I bought a thing of freezies just to keep in the freezer to have one in the morning if I woke up with a sore throat. This is a thing? I haven't really had that for a while though, but meh.
All right. There. Okay.
Gosh.
Let's catch a big one.
So yeah, after this, set this video to... Okay. Finish recording this, set this video to upload. I think... Yeah, go into editing and try to finish editing that one Aeon Sand video. I have the audio all properly set up. I just need to splice the audio into the video. So I can get that started up on there.
Okay. Let's catch a big one.
I could check the mail, but it's only like noon, so checking the mail now seems kind of pointless. I want to wait until like 2 because there's no guarantee that the mail will get here before 2. Like the mail could have been delivered by 10. Could also be delivered at like 2 or even 3 p.m.
Okay, let's
There's no telling unless I can actually see the mail delivery person, like, you know, here dropping off mail. I still remember one time I was going to the city on a trip, and like that morning I was like out, you know, waiting for my ride to get here to pick me up, and like the mail delivery person came by and I was all like, it's like we were on like, you know, friendly basis, whatever. We'd usually meet each other, chat a little, whatever. So I was always like, hey, like I'm going out of town right now. Any chance that you have some mail for me? And it's like, it's alright if you like just say that. It's alright if you say no. It's like, it's alright if you just say that you don't know and you just want to do your job and leave it in the mailbox. I'm just curious. Because otherwise I have to wait until Monday to come and pick it up. And it's like, whatever. I'm just curious about it. And she was all, actually, I think I do. And I picked up like a package of cards I'd been waiting for. To fill out one of my commander decks. Except I didn't think that I was going to get the cards, you know, just before leaving town. So I basically like took them, put them in my purse, or you know, whatever. Looked through them, put them in my purse, went on the trip. And I didn't actually get to use that deck that weekend, and still had to wait till Monday to use the deck anyway. So I did consider getting the cards, rushing back to my apartment, grabbing the rest of the deck and all of the sleeves to put together to use that weekend. And I don't remember why we went to the city that weekend.
Now.
I do remember... Oh, well. Well, now I have to keep this. The question is, do I put the rare can on the fishing pole? Oh, look, sardine. Oh, look, yellowtail. Fish, 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 fish.
Easy does it. Now.
I kind of miss the experience of just playing a Rune Factor game, just lying in bed playing the game with no worry or expectation of, you know, having to actually do stuff. Just doing something like this, just sitting around, fishing for a couple hours. So Sardine and Yellowtail have both been shipped now. I mean, I could ship out the rare can, but I think I want to put it on an ally weapon. I think I want to make a better weapon for myself and give the puppy the gloves that I'm currently using. Fine. Got a rare can. That's something worth celebrating. But yeah, I also remember that that was the weekend where I went and... Or not went and got... Where I ordered my grimoire. Which I don't think I've ever shown on the channel because I don't really show my stuff on the channel. Who knows, maybe next time I do, you know, a tabletop... Yeah, maybe next time I do a tabletop Let's Play, I'll be able to show off the grimoire. I know I showed off my cat. No responses yet as to how people respond to the cat.
Now.
I know that I showed off Cinnamon in the recording.
Easy does it.
Yeah. I remember
I'm a
I
little
ordered the
tired.
grimoire, and I remember sometime later I went out to go and pick it up because that was well before my apartment building had the, like, big mailboxes. They had, you know, like the small, regular mailbox size mailbox, like, communal mailbox wall thing, whatever. You know how that is. Oh my gosh, another one. But they didn't have the big mailbox thing. So any big packages, you had to go all the way to the drugstore and pick them up there yourself. There's a little bit of input lag that I'm detecting here. And just a tad of sass. Yeah, wanted to get myself a nice, like, endgame weapon or something. I don't particularly need proper endgame weapon. Maybe I'll get myself swords. And, like, just tenfold on, like, a glitter augite or
Does it?
something, just for the extra range. That'd be nice. I said, how about... But yeah. I still have that grimoire. So that's cool. Don't really use it so
Would you
much.
like
I think I put, like, my
gentle?
backup commander decks in there. Gosh.
Now.
There's going to come a time when I'm actually going to, like, sell all my commander cards, and I'm going to get a couple, like, $1,000 of them, and that's not even counting, like, my main, like, you know, my artifact deck, my most expensive deck. Which is ridiculous. Like, I remember buying a metal worker from the owner of my local game store, owner of my LGS. I bought, like, his personal metal worker for $30.
You're mine.
Remember buying it, and it's like, yep, this is a pricey card, but it's gonna be good. My all artifact stack.
Yeah.
So I bought one off of him for like $30.
Get a bite.
And now it's like $140. I'm sure at one point I'm probably just going to like get high quality proxies of all of the cards in the deck just so I can still have a physical facsimile to play with, like in paper wise, and then just sell off all of the real cards. Like,
Yeah.
strictly speaking, I could sell off all the cards I have for that deck, which doesn't even include some of the most expensive cards.
Now.
But I could probably get a good couple of $1,000. Well, yeah, some of the cards are worth a lot, some of those aren't really worth so much, but stuff like that mana crypt that I pulled. I still remember pulling that mana crypt. I still remember the absolute feeling of despair and regret that I had from, you know, opening that box and, like, doing a, doing a booster box game. I think before even, like, the professor had done one. I was just opening, actually, it might have been after. I might have actually been inspired by that. Probably was inspired by it, honestly. Okay. Just seeing how much value and rares I could get from all the packs of that box. I'd spent like $160 in that box, and I had like one pack to go, and I'd only gotten like $60 worth of value from it. And I was all like, oh, well then. It's like, well then, It's like, yeah, shouldn't do this, just buy singles, blah blah blah. It's like, this was not a good idea. I could have drafted these, had more fun that way.
Easy does it.
And it's like, what am I thinking? Could have just done that, that would have been much better. Yeah, just get some friends and try drafting it, but at least have fun with the packs. There's no value to be had in opening packs, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. Open up the last pack, hey, maybe this rare will somehow be $100 and make it all worthwhile. The rare was Inventus Fair. Which is, I think, like a $2 card or something. It is a cheap card. And I think that's actually the same Inventus Fair I have in my deck. Like, I had a foil one, and I wound up taking it out for this one because the foil of the pack was the Mana Crypt. And which I think is now, I don't know, $1,300, $1,600, $2,000 maybe? I don't know. It's an expensive card. I mean, if you really think about it, $2,000 is more than I get off of Aish in a month. Because I get like $1,600 some in a month of Aish. So basically, if I saved up all of my spending money.
Now. You're mine.
Okay, 2 new fish. Snapper. Oh, no, Tharby Snapper's not actually new. Sells for a decent amount, though. Two on-ship fish. Cute. Yeah, I could probably sell that Mana Crypt and put a down payment on a house. And wouldn't that be quite the memory? It's like, oh yeah, went to this out-of-the-way game store once, decided to buy a box of cards, and I wound up opening a down payment on a house. Wouldn't necessarily be a good house, because I think for a proper down payment, you have to put at least 15%, right?
Yeah.
So...
hope I get a bite. You're mine!
Yeah, no, I probably wouldn't actually be able to put a down payment on a house. I could buy a car, though. I could buy a somewhat beaten up secondhand car. I could absolutely buy a car for that Mana Crypt. And despite how it appears, I actually did have a car for like 6 or 7 years. It worked well until it didn't, and then yeah. It got to the point where not having a car was better option. It's like, having a car can be very useful, it just was not the useful choice for my situation at that time. Such is how things go.
Easy does it.
Because between the cost of insurance and parking where I live, because I have to pay about $25 a month to have a parking spot here, and I think it was about $70 or $80 a month for insurance, so $100 a month fee just to have the car. Even if I don't use it and thus don't have to pay for maintenance or gas or anything, just having the car be $100 a month.
I I'm a
So
little
even
tired.
not counting in the cost of maintenance or gas,
So
that's,
you're mine.
like a trip to Edmonton. Yeah, trip to Edmonton. Trip down to the city every, I think it would be $200 for a trip down. So a trip every 2 months is what that would cover. Again, not counting for gas, which a trip to Edmonton was costing $40 worth of gas at that time. Now gas prices have like doubled, just about doubled. So now it'd be about $80. So actually it'd be, about $120. Yeah, so I'd have to basically, unless I was making a trip down to Edmonton every month, or I say twice a month, let alone all of the driving around town stuff that I could also get into, it would just, yeah, it's basically not worth it. But if I had, something that was making me have to go down to Edmonton like every month or twice a month, like I said, it would be more logical to have a car, but as it stands, not particularly. Oh, cool. Almost 20,000 princess points. I thought we had already passed the 20,000 mark. Why did we go back down a bit? That's weird. Also, in the interest of games, I do want to play this Hyrule Warriors Age of Calamity. I do want to try this Harvestelia prologue demo because people are saying it's like a Harvest Moon, like fantasy type game, and people are very mixed on how they feel about it. So I want to try out for myself, and I want to play the Princess Guide because it seems interesting and fun. It was on sale and it was cheap, and I had my eye on it for a while. And I have a, haven't played that game in a while. Dungeon Village, I think I've played that. But I have a lot of games that I want to play, I just haven't been getting around to playing them. Because, again, I've been just in a funk lately of not wanting to do games. But now, at the very least, going to go and do some Dark Cloud. And technically I could put it off till tomorrow, but I shouldn't. I had to do this at least. So I'm going to call it here, then do some more gaming and editing and all of that. This has been a whole bunch of nothing, just like all the others. Yay!